Okay, let's look at this question. It's from the 2021 prelim of Punggol Primary School. So you can see here, it says that state one other characteristic that is special to the group of living things that organism A belongs. So you can see organism A is actually the otter, right? Yeah, which has been terrorizing many parts of Singapore. So you need to take note that because this part is restated, it gives birth to young and has fur. So there are actually two other characteristics which are common to mammals. Namely, they are warm-blooded, or you can say their mothers, the female produce milk for their young. So you can write either of this, which I'm going to put it here. So you can write this. They drink milk from their mothers. They drink their mother's milk when they are young, or they are warm-blooded. Either one. Okay. So either of this answer, or you can say the female of organism A produce milk for their young. Next question. Organism A, which is actually the otter, needs to go to the surface to breathe. So actually name the organs. So this is lungs, because it's a mammal. Mammal breathe through lungs. And organism B is a fish, right? So it breathes through gills. Simple. Okay. B is organism, is a fish. Okay, next, both organisms swim around freely among plant C. Okay, you noted here, I put an extra hint here. Actually, there's one important fact here. I put it here, that the plant C is a partially submerged plant. Partially submerged means that some of it is underwater, some of it is above water. Okay, so they say, besides providing shelter, how does plant C helps the survival of the organisms in the water? Okay, actually this organism, you can refer to this one, right? B, right? And when it's submerged, so mainly refers to organism B, because otter actually, they cannot take in dissolved oxygen. Okay, so you must mention that this part. Okay, how does plant C? So plant C provides the organism with oxygen during photosynthesis. Okay, so this is the answer. Plant C provides the organism with oxygen during photosynthesis. Okay, I put it here, this part. Okay, plant C provides the organism with oxygen as it takes in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen during photosynthesis. Or you can just mention plant C provides the organism with oxygen during photosynthesis. Okay, should shorten it. During photosynthesis, okay. Plant C provides the organisms with oxygen during photosynthesis. Short and sweet. So these are the answers. I'll do a screenshot and send to every one of you. Now, please enable your file that can receive from my chat here later. Okay, I'll send it shortly after I have gone through the next question. One more student coming in, Jia Xuan. Okay, let's continue next question. Okay, this question is about seed dispersal. Okay, so they say, Mark wants to find out. So can you please highlight this part? The purpose of the experiment is to find out how the hair-like structures of the seed, right, affect what? Affect the distance traveled by them. So whether this hair-like structure here affect the distance traveled by them. You notice seed Y do not have any or does not have any hair-like structure. So one is present and one is absent. Okay, so now they say explain how the hair-like structures of seed X helps it to be dispersed. Okay, So how do you answer this? Okay, because this is dispersed by wind, right? So you must mention that the hair-like structures help seed X to float in the air for a longer period of time. Okay, so you say the hair-like structure helps seed X to float in the air longer. Okay, therefore, X can be dispersed further away from the parent plant. Okay, so they must give this explanation. So the structure helps seed X to float in the air longer. Therefore, X can be dispersed further away from the parent plant. Okay, next. Okay, look at this graph. Okay, this graph is, as you can see, this is the height. And this is the distance d. Okay, so you see, he dropped the seeds X and Y from a height and measured the distance d, which is the distance traveled by the seeds, as shown below. He repeated the experiment with seed Y. Okay, seed Y. That means now he do seed X, after that he do seed Y. Based on the above experiment, state mark hypothesis. Okay, what is a hypothesis? Okay, a hypothesis is the prediction of the result of an experiment. Okay, I repeat, hypothesis is the prediction of the result of an experiment. How the hair-like structure affects the distance. Okay, many students make mistake in this question. So you need to be very careful when you answer this. Okay, because you look at this part, right? It's not how much the hair-like structure it has, because one is present, one is absent. So your hypothesis must be able to differentiate the absence of hair-like structure and also the presence of hair-like structure. Okay, understand? Okay, one parent asking me. Jia Xuan, you're already in the class already, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So for this question, right, you should say the presence of hair-like structures will increase distance b. Actually, very short. Okay, the presence of, because they ask you state the hypothesis, so you don't give reason, you just state the presence of hair-like structures will increase distance d. Okay, if a student write, the greater the hair-like structure, the further the seed can be dispersed, we'll get it wrong. Because you see in this experiment, right, they didn't compare how much hair-like structure. They only compare whether they are present or whether they are absent. So take note of this. So you just say the presence of hair-like structures will increase distance d, full stop. Okay, next. This is also another tricky question, which I will put it below. Okay, because this one, they say give a reason how seeds, okay, of similar mass. Okay, somebody asked me, Isabella, I wrote in the presence of hair-like structure, allow it to travel in the, okay, possible also. So you can say the presence of hair-like structures allow the seed to travel a further distance d. Okay, you can. Okay, so for this one, right, I will share this answer with you. Okay, this one is why they must use a seed X and Y of similar mass. Okay, I wrote here, you underline this part. Similar mass throughout. Okay, and to make the experiment a fair test. Okay, so you must mention about the only change variable is the presence of hair-like structure. Okay, so that's why I share it here. Easy for you to see. Okay, this part. Make it nicer here. Okay, so the answer for this will be, so that there's only one change variable, which is the presence of hair-like structure on the plant. And Mark can be sure that the result of the experiment are only due to the change variable, okay, and not mass of the seed. So this answer is quite complete. So you must identify the change variable, which is the presence of hair-like structure. And this result of the experiment is only based on the presence of hair-like structure and not the mass of the seed. Okay, so you take note of this answer. I see whether I can fit it nicely on the lines, because sometimes the lines is of different size. See whether I can fit this in here. Okay, okay, something like this. Maybe shift it down a bit. So this is the answer for this one. Let me better put it here. Okay. Only one change variable, which is the presence of hair-like structure. So I will screenshot this and send to you all together. Okay.